Hello teacher, welcome to my team 1. Now today we will talk about research on factors affecting the effectiveness of online learning forms of students from Institute of Economics and Management, Hanoi University of Science and Technology in translating COVID-19. First, we will talk about the reason why we choosing this page, uh, this, uh, this topic. During the COVID-19 epidemic, we must keep our distance to reduce the risk of infection between people, not to contact people, not to leave their homes, to take social spacing measures. Learning and developing themselves are limited, especially for students. So how can we learn, work, and grow during the epidemic seasons? Therefore, learning is a measure that is applied to ensure the progress and knowledge. This measure was adopted by the majority of schools around the world to teach during the COVID-19 epidemic season. In Vietnam, Hanoi University of Science and Technology is one of the leading universities in the transition of learning to online. However, however, for students and teachers of Hanoi University of Science and Technology, there is a new form of learning, un- unprecedented, unprecedented in history. So, will online learning will be as effective as expected? And in the context of social relaxation, most students stay at home. What factors will affect the effectiveness of online learning? Polytechnic University is a large university with many different institutes, and each department has its own characteristics. So it is difficult to give a common answer to whole university. Therefore, we students of the economic school, Hanoi University of Science and Technology, found that there is a shortcoming and want to study for the peculiarity of the economic session. So we propose the topic: study the factors affect, affecting affecting the effectiveness of online learning from of student of the economic school, Hanoi University of Science and Technology in the COVID-19 epidemic. The second part, the second part, we will talk about the research subject. Student of Economic of Management, Hanoi University of Science and Technology. About the research scope, the topic is research at Hanoi University of Science and Technology. Primary data collected from October 2020 to December 2020, researching the range of factors influencing online learning in COVID-19. For the second chapter, we'll show you our research methods. For the first, we will is the basis of reasoning. Multivariable linear receipt is an extended form of simple linker receipt for two or more independent variables. It is used when we want to forecast a result variable, dependent variable, according to the value of two or more variables explained, also known as independent variable. Variable in the multi-variable linear recovery model must satisfy the blue nature, the best non-deviated linear estimate. In essence, drawing a line of radiation that pass through the data set so that the balance or error of each SS are the smallest, with the following assumption of return error ensuring the estimate of the overall recovery function weight based on the sample by the minimum square method is the best non-deviated linear estimate. The model resist is linear according the indicator's expected value of 0 is a is equal 0. Constant iteration is xa equal about the order of conducting research. The research process is carried out as follows. First step: identify the research issues and the basis of background theory. Research on factors affecting the effectiveness of online learning in COVID-19 translation. From the above research, through understanding the theories as well as practice as the basis for building up the research layout. First, find out an overview of COVID-19 and solution for students to study in the COVID-19. Propose the second is propose the theory and model to use research and build research process. The third, research result, and the fourth is making conclusion and recommendation. For step 2 is consider the previous research project. The team draws comments based on the content clearly defined in step 1. It is clear that other aspects of the problems need to be studied further, from which specific hypotheses are made to solve the problem pose. Step 3 is describing static. Through previous research, the team identified factors affecting the effectiveness of online learning in COVID-19, identify more gaps that can focus on mining and need to be addressed. This is also the motivation to solve research goals. Select econometric regression model. Step 4. Establish a research model and come up with impact variable to solve the research problems based on the survey of previous theoretical model of other authors. The background theories are related. The research team synthesize and evaluate the factors that need to be promoted by previous research, identifying the new point to be set for this study. The team proposed a research model and develop variable both quantitatively and so that it is appropriate. The select dependency variables is the effectiveness of online learning independent variable including concentration level of interaction with teachers, information about COVID translation study time, and the study time. Step 5. Data analysis model. proceed to collect official data. At this step, it is necessary to identify the variables to be collected, feasible data collection method, and ensure the reliability of the any analytical data. Step 6. Estimate, estimating and auditing. Analysis based on the obtained data. Data is collected, filtered, and analyzed using appropriately selected statistical methods, including quantitative multivariate regression analysis. Make comments and suggestion from the above result. Step 7. Conclusion are both quantitatively and quantitatively use supporting information to make recommendation, complete and present the complete report. Now we come to the chapter 3, is the research result. As you can see, after synthesizing data from survey and regression analysis using Microsoft Excel, we have the following result. As you can see in this table. We'll find what factors affecting the effectiveness of online learning. Check the statistical significance of the coefficient. We found that the participation factor for online learning was not statistically significant. From there, we have a sample regression function y equal 14, as you can see in this. Inside the dependent variable y is the level of efficiency of online learning. The dependent variable x1 is the level of concentration. The dependent variable x2 is the level of interaction with the teacher. From the regression function, we get the results. The concentration of students studying online is 57%. With 1% increase in concentration, the effectiveness of online learning will increase by 0.2%. With 1% increase in interaction with the teacher, the effectiveness of online learning will increase by 0.45%. The factor that concentration and interaction with the teacher will explain 60.8% of the variation in the effectiveness of online learning. Other factors are not included in the model, influence up to 40.2%. From the survey data, we obtained that average number of lessons is 2.34 and the standard deviation is 1.2. The confidence interval is 90%. Estimate the most effective online learning time by using the following formula. As you can see in this. The level of participation in online learning. online lesson did not affect the effectiveness of online learning. A number of research suggests students only participating in lesson but not listening to lecture, but sleeping or working separately. The second is concentration has effect on the effectiveness, efficient, eff, efficiencies of online learning, but with a low density uh, coefficient 0.2, we found that the subject's knowledge is relatively heavy or is not familiar with the new learning form. The third is the level of interaction with the teacher has a rather high impact on the effectiveness of online learning, with coefficient 0.45. When studying online, students can confidently speak more without hesitation, or exercise that teachers give through the forms make you have to do and understand more. The fourth is the most effective time for online learning is from about 2.11 lesson to 2.56 lesson. Now we hear the our recommendation for school. First, school need to take measure to check if students are in the online class but actually learning or not, such as sudden attendance, asking students to turn on the camera, and the second is can increase the level interaction, such as there are regulation on plus point for students who regul, regular regularly interact with teachers, and schools should arrange alternative learning and alternate learning programs for offline and online learning, so that students can use to learning online. And the last one, online lecture should design in the range from 2.11 to 2.56 lesson to ensure the most effective. Thanks for listening.